welcome back to the channel. Yeah, sorry, it's been a while since I've been on here. Had a little rest from modelling, stopped building ME262 almost a year ago now. Only flew 4 times last year, 4 weekends I went flying on special occasions. Other than that, didn't really get the time, didn't have much inclination. Just as an update for you, I did get to test fly the L39. A lot of you have asked about that. Unfortunately, I didn't have anyone on a camera that day who would film it for me. So you're going to have to take my word for it. It took off. One of the biggest worries when we build these little RBC kits and we put retracts and we don't use the Wacom motors that they recommend and bits and pieces, is that they say they won't fly. And they say also most of the RBC kits are really designed for catapult takeoff, you know, ski sledge, catapult, elastic, whatever, which is not a way I ever want to do them, and I have seen other people successfully flying with retract undercarriage, taking off and landing. The L39 was surprising. It only took probably 40 to 50 feet, probably 10-15 meters, maybe getting up to 20 meters, if you know, to get off the ground. It leapt into the air basically, no trouble at all. I think I would have took off at half throttle. It flew lovely. I hardly had to trim it at all. It was very happy and very fast at half throttle. It was only one flight I had. It was a beautiful day. There wasn't a breath of wind, so it was quite ideal conditions, and like I say, it flew gorgeous. Landing very, very stable, very, very nice to land. I'd done a perfect landing and the undercarriage collapsed, and that's why the wing is here on there. You know, when I built it for lightness, I think we used a set of E-flite retracts that came out of something like about 2.5 kilo Red Arrow or something like that. I can't remember what they came out of. I didn't buy them especially enough, and they came out of a small foamy jet model. So that was the only thing, and it didn't damage the wing or where the retracts go in or anything like that. The actual plastic housings of the retracts just cracked and broke up. So the moulding of the actual retract, I think I chucked them in the bin now, but anyway, so that's the only problem I had, and I've done that on both the back landing gear, and the front one was okay, but it was touch and go. I mean, it came out of the same model. So basically what I've done in the last few weeks, I've sort of started to get the itch back into modelling. Very keen to get back out and get flying, and very keen to get building again. So last couple of weeks what I've done is completely taken them out. I've found up some really good retracts and I've converted it over and put them in. So I will say, as a learning point, it's just one of them things, but some of you might come across this. When I done this one, I built the wiring into the wing. It's not a big model, so I haven't put hatches everywhere to take the servos in and out for maintenance and stuff like that. They're just built in, and that's covered over, and there's a little slot for them to come through, and the same for the wire, and that's all just built into the wing. One of the problems I had was on this wing is I had to cut a little piece of the covering away to get to a connection to unconnect the retracts. So that is just one of them things, you know, on these size models. But what I do, if that does help any of you, if you ever come into the same situation, you know, don't worry about it. It's a shame to cut into a lovely perfect wing, but if you cut at a 45 degrees angle inwards, okay, so cut inwards, 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 inwards. When you cut your piece out gently with a very sharp Stanley knife, what you'll find is you can just drop it back and it'll be a perfect fit back into the hole, and just a little drop of cyanide glue, and hey presto, you can hardly see or know that you've you know had to cut into the wing and do a repair. I've got the bits here, I haven't cyanided this in yet. So basically just like that. Don't know how well you can see that if I bring it up, but as you can see, the cut is at around about 45 degrees, and that way it just slots in, lays on. No one's gonna see that once that's glued with a little bit of cyanide glue in the perfect position. So that is it with the L39. The other thing a lot of you will be asking for, I know there's a few comments, people like myself really like the ME262 as an airplane, and I do. I've had the Dynam foamy one, and I've owned that and had it for ages, and I gave it away, to be honest. I'd flown it that much and it's getting a little bit rough, and I knew someone who was appreciate a model, and I actually gave it away, still flying, still ready to fly. And I also had the opportunity on a few occasions to fly the Freewing 262, which is a lot more scalar airplane than the Dynam one. A little bit harder to fly, a little bit faster, definitely more manoeuvrable and a bit faster, so you have to be a bit more on your game to fly it and enjoy flying it. But again, the airframe on them 262s is just built to fly. You know, the original one I think was the same. You know, I think other than the problems the Germans had with the jet engines, I think the actual airframe itself was a very, very stable gun flying platform. So I do like them airplanes, and I know a few of you, so I like the menacing look of them in the sky, I like the way they handle, I like the sweep of the wings, I like the way the two pods are for the engines. I find them aesthetically nice. But I had put the 262 that I was started building last year, the year before, whenever it was, on hold. I'm a bit concerned that it's just a bit too small to do how I want to do. As you all know, I don't do bungee launch and stuff like that. I'm not into that. I like retracts and wheels, and they take off and land. Unfortunately, I think that is just that kit that we have got and that we started building last year is going to be just a bit too small to handle what we need to do in order to make it into what I would like. So it's on the back burner. I ain't going to throw it away, I ain't going to damage it, I'll leave it there. You know, boredom sometime we might go back to it or whatever. But I should just keep an eye out and see if anything come along that's more into the size that I would like one. I mean, 70mm fan on the Dynam and the Freewing one came out at about 1.5 meters in wingspan. So which is roughly 56 inches, something like that. Nearly 60 inches, but anyway, something around there. So we keep an eye out for something, because the one we was building is only around about 54 inches, 52 inches, something like that, and I'm just a bit concerned that our wing loading, we ain't going to get that right, not with the weight that we're going to put into it with retracts and bits and pieces. So like I say, that's on the back burner. It's not chucked away, but we are going to be doing that. So that's that. And so basically next project going forward, or next building project, I'm going to show you it today. I'll do the next video as an unboxing video. So it's under this wing. It's an airplane I've built before, I've had the kit before, I've built it before, and I've flown it before. Just to give you a little bit of background, it was an intermediate to easy build, I would say. I wouldn't say it was mind-boggling, but that was an interesting and an enjoyable build. Again, I probably hadn't built it how the manufacturers wanted it built, and I'll explain that when we get building the airplane and bits and pieces, and you'll see. I might even explain it when I do the unboxing build video. And it was a lovely finished airplane. It looked really nice, and it flew beautifully. And I had 4 flights on the airplane, and on the 4th flight I lost it due to an actual radio signal transmitter fault, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, I lost range, I lost signal. I was on 2.4, I was on Spectrum, I was on good equipment. What caused it, I'm not certain. The only thing I can say is that we had a few modelers in that area lose models which seem to all go from a signal type of fault. We know the farmer uses a radio controlled water system which sends him signals, or through satellite, or however it do. Whether that is anything to do with it, we don't know. There's a few speculations in the club on it. It seems to be an area where more airplanes are lost than not from a signal fault. You know, if you correlated all the signal faults that airplane crashes that are ever done in that area, there always seems to be just there where I was. I was good 400-500 yards away from where I was flying, showing off, doing this lovely sort of low level hedge hopping. So a little bit of my own fault as well. You know, I could have been up high, I didn't have to be hedge hopping at that point, but that just looked so nice going along. Came past the flight line at sort of 4 foot off the ground, and I just kept at 4 foot off the ground for about 200-300 yards and hopped over the hedge, and then just kept it low so I could just see the airplane. Come to pull up and turn round, and she just went whoa, and bang, and that was it. So it could have been a linkage, it could be anything, but I'm putting it down to probably signal loss. I don't think it was linkage. So without further ado, the airplane that I'm talking about is just put this up out of the way. Oh, sorry. A Seagull. Let's see if I can get you a better picture. Okay, it's a Seagull Zero, 67 inch, designed for 1 cubic engine, 4-stroke or 6-channel radio, 9 servos. It's their sports fighter A6 M2 67 inch master kit edition. Okay, you can buy this airplane ready to fly, or almost ready to fly, covered and everything else, but I bought it as the kit. Now the kit is designed to be covered. Sorry about moving about. That's basically what it looks like when it's built to what's in the box, and then you're supposed to cover it. But I will fill all this in with very light balsa sheeting, and then I will do a fiberglass covering on mine. But that's what I've done on the last one, that's what I'll do on this one, because as you know, that's how I like my airplanes to be. There you go. So, some more bump on there. If you want to read that, you can just pause the video here. There's all the spec on it there. If you want to read that, again, just pause the video here and you can have a read. Hopefully that's clear enough. There's the wingspan, 66.9, wing area 76.1.1 square inches, weight 9.3, 4.2 kilograms, will be very close to that. Length 51.1, engine, as I've already said, 0.75 to 0.91 cubic inch 2-stroke, or 0.91 to 1 cubic inch 4-stroke. 6 channel, 9 servos. Retracts, landing gear included. They'll be mechanical, I should think. Electric conversion optional, and we will be building ours electric as long as I can find a motor for it, because I'm running out of motors. There you have it. Alright, so that's going to give you something to look forward to on the channel. Like I say, I do apologise for my absence for such a long while. It'll be a nice project to do. Like I say, I'm getting itchy feet, ready to get back into flying. That's been a while now. That's life. Sometimes we just need a rest from these things. Sometimes we lose a bit of interest. Sometimes just things in life we just have to, you know, model. And if you ask my wife, it's not the most important thing that we do. So, so I do it when I get the time. Hopefully the time is now freeing up again, and I shall get quite a bit of it done. I say I'm sorry to those of you who was interested in 262. Like I say, it's not scrapped. That could well come back. Might even be after this. I don't know. I must admit, I've also got hold of another kit I'm not going to show you. It's not a box kit, unfortunately. It's one I bought for pennies, really, which is a Brian Taylor C5 or Fury, I can't remember, Tempest, that type of thing. Yeah, so I got that if I want to build that later on. We've still got the ME262 to look at. So I've got a few bits and pieces to look at anyway, plenty to build for the next however long I want to build for. Like I say, so yeah, I look forward to doing unboxing this in a little while for you, and I'll record that and stick that on YouTube, and then we'll follow this build exactly same as we followed for the L39. Whether you'll learn any new tricks or whether I will, hopefully you guys will tell me some pointers, and hopefully that'll be a nice journey. Alright, well, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.